In today's video, we are talking about the brand new Figure 03 robot, which is said to be able to do household chores. Lay's is doing a rebrand, and people are actually liking it. And Ubisoft has let go Assassin's Creed franchise boss Mark Alexis Cote right after the company restructured. This is what we're going to be talking about today. My name is the Techno Jelly. Please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this content. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's get into the news. Starting with the company called Figure, which has been creating robots for the past 3 years, but using human pilots to help them complete their tasks. As reported by Dexerto and The Time, their new Figure 03 robot, on the other hand, is set to be a fully independent robot to help around the house. It has a vision language action AI that will help it think and see, as well as a next generation vision system, Figure AI, specially engineered for high frequency visual motor control. Their goal is to deliver an all-purpose robot that can perform human tasks and learn from people. On their website, it is shown to be doing the dishes, getting clothes from the washing machine, folding towels, and watering a plant. Even by their own admission, Figure says the Figure 03 is not ready for domestic and general consumers, but they are getting close and hoping for a 2026 date to be ready. Considering that the Figure 02 took 3 attempts to load a washing machine without dropping anything that seems relatively logical. The problem, as pointed out in the Time article, is that the robots have a big limitations, and the company Figure has huge costs, an unproven product, and no publicly disclosed revenue, despite soaring company valuation. The CEO of Figure, Brett Adcock, says the key to Figure 03 is the internal network called Helix, which lets the Figure 03 robot learn new tasks with data. This data mostly being video footage using the pilots to record themselves doing the task. Using 80 hours of this footage, that is how the towel folding abilities were learned by the Figure 03. The problem, it seems, is that even with all this technology, the need of human pilots is still needed for the base product, and Figure is spending the vast majority of its $1 billion budget on human workers to create these first-person videos that the Figure robot needs to learn from, as well as creating a kitchen inside of its facilities so the robots can use it inside to train in it. Other robotic companies do not see this as a realistic goal like Figure does. Rodney Brooks, co-founder of Roomba maker iRobot, said, "To think we can teach dexterity to a machine without being able to measure touch sensation is probably dumb and an expensive mistake." As well as saying, simply collecting visual data alone can't possibly be enough to infer how to be dexterous. Considering that the Figure 03 is not ready for sale and is speculated to be selling at $20,000 to $30,000, it does seem that Rodney knows what he is talking about. Personally, I would have to agree with Rodney. Everything we know about the Figure 03 sounds really cool in practice, but it doesn't really seem viable at the moment. I do see all the videos and the demonstrations and the advertisements of the robots doing the tasks that they say they can do, but we have to keep a few things in mind here. One is that the advertisements are recorded in the ideal environment for these robots, and you also don't see the outtakes of how many times it took for them to get the right shot of the Figure 3 doing whatever task it's doing. Second, considering how you might have to actually keep an eye on the robot, or it might be doing it not properly, how much time are you actually saving for actually getting this robot to do it, other than the fact of just buying a better dishwasher or buying a better washer and dryer just to do it better with your own hands? And it's not like as humans we're doing a ton of work for laundry and doing the dishes. It would take an hour to do both of those maybe. So how much time are we actually saving by spending 30 grand on a robot? In theory, I feel like this Figure 03 robot sounds good, but for me, it doesn't really make sense. It's incredibly expensive, and the technology, while interesting and cool, is we're on the cusp of it. We're on the edge of what it's going to be, and I'm in the next 5-10 years, maybe, sure. But right now, it feels like it is just expensive and not ready for consumers, in a broad market scale at least. But that's my opinion. I would love to know your opinion down in the comments below. Let me know if you would buy this kind of robot if you have that kind of money, or even if you could, even if it was cheaper, do you think you would buy it? I personally don't even think I would buy it even if it was cheaper, because it doesn't seem that practical yet. at least in its current form. Next up, we have Lay's doing a rebrand of their iconic logo, and it's actually going pretty well. The new logo is that like the old logo, but it's better, which you would think would be a duh moment, but considering the rebrands of other companies the past year, maybe even 2 years at this point, going okay is doing better than most at this time. The actual changes of the logo was released from PepsiCo, the owners of Lay's, as said and reported by the Daily Mail. The logo will continue to be featuring a yellow sun, but the new iteration is warmer and more distinct. Along with the new and improved sun behind the Lay's text comes new colors like pickle green, hickory brown, and savory red, and the new bag design for the chips themselves. While sentiment online is mixed, it's not all negative. Some might say it's a mixed bag of responses to the changes of all of these logos. Overall, it's pretty neutral. Not super negative, but not super positive. And the bag itself, with the redesign, said to be the potato itself and the rich farm imagery take center stage, says Alex Porter, the vice president of marketing at PepsiCo. He also added the new visual identity celebrates the humble farm-grown potatoes, where every Lay's potato chip starts and heroes the ingredients that deliver the unmatched flavor consumers have always loved. To top off the whole redesign of the bag and the logo comes an announcement that the Lay's chips are also no longer going to be featuring artificial flavors and colors by the end of 2025, which is a pretty big move overall by PepsiCo and Lay's. They're joining the Make America Healthy Again movement. Now, I do have to say that the logo itself looks fine. It looks good, but the bag is the problem I have with the design, because from the pictures we can see, it looks smaller. The bag just itself looks smaller and it looks more compact, which means they might just be doing this so they can sell a smaller bag at the same price, which wouldn't be super surprising from a huge company like PepsiCo and Lay's, but makes me sad because of the shrinkflation. I feel like everything has been happening the past 10 years at this point. And another thing about the logo is that I don't know most people really cared about the sun for the Lay's. Most people see Lay's as the gigantic text of the Lay's, text of it being there. You're not really looking at the sun. You don't really go for the sun logo. You go for the huge Lay's text that is front and center, which is still front and center of the new logo. So sure, the new sun looks interesting, but it's a background image for Lay's. And the fact that they also had to convince people that yes, they do in fact use real potatoes for these potato chips is really funny, because in the article that the Daily Mail made, it says that 42% of people didn't think Lay's used real potato chips, which is really funny because even the consumers didn't think Lay's were using real potatoes. Everyone jokes about how Lay's or potato chips, are they actually potatoes? But in the back of everyone's mind, it's yeah, they probably use real potatoes. But some people were no, they don't use real potatoes. There's no way they use real potatoes. And almost 50% of people thought that they interviewed. And their push to being more healthy, I feel like that's just a marketing and buzzword salad, I feel like. Because if you want to be more healthy, don't eat Lay's potato chips, or don't eat chips in general. Sure, being more healthy isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if you want to be healthy, you shouldn't be eating chips, which I feel like most people would say. I do understand the sentiment of trying to get some people to eat the chips instead of having zero chance of it being eaten by someone that wants to be healthy. But I feel like there are healthier versions of snacks than potato chips. So I feel like Lay's is already losing battle there. But then again, they are the best-selling potato chip brand in the USA. So maybe they're just trying to go for an even broader target audience. They already have the majority of people, but maybe they're trying to go for instead of 80% of the people, it's 90% of the people. But that's just a boardroom decision probably. And to be fair, it is a good thing to get rid of the artificial flavoring and coloring, probably, especially for healthy. And hey, as long as the taste stays the same for most people, I think they wouldn't even care. So let me know what you guys think about this whole Lay's chips thing in the comments down below. If you buy Lay's chips, are you going to still buy them? If not, why not? Because you want to be healthy, because you're just off the chips, or because when they change the flavoring, it changes the taste and you don't like them anymore and you went to a different brand. I would love to know. Finally, let's talk about Ubisoft letting go its franchise boss, Alexis Coat of Assassin's Creed. I'm sorry, I'm going to be saying that name so wrong every time because I'm going to be saying it a bunch. I'd like to apologize. IGN says that the staff were informed of the news via internal email that Vantage Studios' leadership team needs to be aligned with its core goals, and Coat was offered a role to be a part of the leadership team at Vantage Studios, but he declined it. Cole has played a pivotal role in Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft since he joined in 2005 in many of the games that are considered to be the best, or at least at the top 10. He's all been involved in them. He worked on all of them. He joined the team just in time for working on Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which some people say is the best one, especially of the old school ones. He served as the game director for Assassin's Creed 3, and then he became the creative director for Assassin's Creed Black Flag DLC Freedom Cry, the Assassin's Creed Syndicate as well, and then he became the senior producer for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which had the huge jump to being a RPG instead of a action game. I guess they're all technically action games, but the Odyssey definitely had more RPG elements. And then in 2022, he was given the reins for the franchise, and he had a whole Marvel style planned for Assassin's Creed, starting with Assassin's Creed Hexy, which doesn't have a release date yet. But then the restructuring stuff happened, and it seems that things have changed. Some of the big things that I've seen personally is that he defended Assassin's Creed Shadows a lot. He defended the inclusion of Yusaki, the black samurai, which admittedly isn't 100% accurately depicted in Assassin's Creed, but nothing is 100% accurate in Assassin's Creed. It's all based on something. So we're not asking for a 100% thing, at least for me. Coate said during a BAFTA speech, Assassin's Creed has always been about exploring the full spectrum of human history, and by its very nature, that history is diverse. Staying true to history means embracing the richness of human perspective without compromise. And it turns out that he was also a part of the team that was been working on the Assassin's Creed game that was set during the Civil War, which Ubisoft canceled because of being scared about the repercussions or controversy that may follow it. And you can just see the two really conflicting ideas between Ubisoft and Coate, because Coate defended Assassin's Creed Shadows pretty much the whole time. He always said, no, this is what we want to do, we believe in this, and we're going to do it the way we think is right. And whether you agree or disagree, he always kept that fact, and he didn't want to compromise for that. And Ubisoft basically, without directly telling him, saying they're moving in a different direction of what he sees as the best. And he just straight up didn't take the leadership role that they offered him, which makes sense because for him, the company is going in a different direction than he wants to. So it makes sense that he is leaving the company and making his own path. It does make me kind of sad for Assassin's Creed because sure, we can all disagree about which one's better, which one's bad. All the Assassin's Creed games have been at least okay games and decent games, and he's been involved for a lot of them. And some of the better ones he was also involved with. So it makes me sad to see a leader that has led a lot of good games leave, but hopefully he can do something independently and do what he wants to do, and hopefully Ubisoft can still continue making decent Assassin's Creed games. I personally have no trust in them and no hope, but maybe you do. We'll see, because it feels like Ubisoft, the next Assassin's Creed game is going to be the safest, not risky Assassin's Creed game ever made, and that probably means it's going to be boring, but who knows? They could surprise me. Let me know what you guys think about the next Ubisoft Assassin's Creed game, if you're excited for it at all, because it's going to be Assassin's Creed Hexit unless they change it to a different one, but we'll see. Thank you everyone for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out, and you get to see these videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you would like to help support me directly, you can go over to patreon.com/thetechnojelly and become a member. You get access to a once-a-month live stream and early access to some videos, as well as joining all of these nice people in the credits going across your screen right now. Once again, thank you everyone for watching today's video. Please go over to Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads if you'd like to check me out on other platforms. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye, everyone.